Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with a quick Power Rangers Beast Morphers theory video. This is sort of based off of stuff we've talked about before. In a couple different videos on a couple different topics. I've talked about the Dobutsu Sentai version of the Beast Morphers costumes / the Go Busters costumes, which, you know, included some slightly alternate versions of our regular Rangers with black visors and stuff, little like fangs and whatnot. But that movie also had two original Rangers, which was Black Panther and, not related, and the Green Hippopotamus Ranger. Green Hippopotamus. Damn, you gave him the easy one. Too soon. So we had those two. They weren't fully developed new suits, like, you know, meaning they weren't completely new head sculpts or helmet sculpts and stuff. They were very clearly repurposed, especially like, was it Black Puma or was it Black Panther? Black Puma or Black Panther? Was it just because of Black Panther? Now I'm just realizing that. The guy. But like his was very clearly just a recolor of reds. You know, it kind of honestly reminded me of the what they did for that black recolor of the Red Hurricane helmet for Hurricane Red, and I think it was the 10 Years After movie. But you know what I mean. That's what I'm getting at. So those costumes were there. I've speculated on whether they would use them or not for season 2 or a power-up and stuff, or if we could see the others, you know. So I think I even brought it up at one point because it's been a theory that maybe the Black and Green Ranger suits could be used for Ben and Betty. Very much so when I think about that, with what their characters are, remind me of the Purple and Orange Rangers we got in the comics for Bulk and Skull and stuff like that. But there was a recent, like, Spike, I don't know why I'm doing that for Spike, because Bulk's not even here, an interest for the theory of Christina, who plays Betty, being the Green Ranger, because she had a Twitter exchange with somebody who she just worked with that referred to her as the current Green Ranger, which could have been a slip-up. Like, it's just basically a piece of gossip to cling on to kind of just discuss fun theories, basically. I don't think it's anything necessarily concrete. I mean, we've seen it all the time when, like, even news reports will casually refer to things incorrectly. Like, they'll refer to whatever the current series is as Mighty Morphin, or they'll use a casual term, and they'll have such base knowledge that they'll just generalize things. So, that's definitely possible that, like, she didn't know that Betty's actress wasn't a Ranger. But it's also possible at some point Betty does suit up as the Green Ranger, and she happened to mention that when she was working with this girl. I think that there is at least a decent possibility Ben and or Betty would suit up in some form. I think these suits seem the most likely because it would mostly be, I think, for a one-off take. Like, I can't really see this being something that happens and then it reoccurs for a little while. Like, I would see it being either a one-off, like Cat Ranger, or potentially, you know, something for a finale or something like that. And like maybe a one-time thing. Like maybe it happens in the Beast Morphers finale, and then we don't see the suits again until one more time in Super Beast Morphers. So I think it would be a very minimal thing. And I think that these suits are the most likely because they were used for comedic purposes. They are a little more comedic. I think it would make more sense to use them. I mean, I think it would be cool if they full-on created new, even cooler looking Ranger suits for them, because I love original creations, but I see why people would think that's more likely, because I think that in a lot of ways too. Some people are speculating that, like, they'll take Green Hippopotamus and make it based off of the Frog Zord, the movie mecha from Go Buster that's a frog, from Go Busters it's a frog, and honestly that's not too much of a stretch. I mean, most frogs don't really have those ears like they have on the hippopotamus costume, but then again, most praying mantises don't have a kabuto beetle horn, and you know, the different horns that Jay has for the beetles they're using. So I don't think it's that much of a stretch. In fact, especially with the color, I think it's almost an even easier dot to connect if they decided to somehow make it based off of the Frog Zord, depending on what capacity they use the Frog Zord. I've also seen some pretty cool, like, original fan art of, like, what a Frog Ranger would look like using, like, the base of silver as the helmet, which I think would be even cooler and stuff like that. But I think I would like to see it. Maybe even if it's not Ben and Betty, just because I think it would be neat to get figures of those in the line. And that's another reason I think it could be likely, is I think that they might want to make as much toys as possible, especially if we're using the Go Busters material for 2 years of toys, then you're going to want more Rangers to come out with. There's something else I was also thinking about before I started filming this, about how, you know, much like Bandai and a lot of other toy companies, Hasbro isn't, you know, isn't opposed to, there we go, you know, making toys that aren't going to be in the show or movie. Like, as we see when Spider-Man movies will come out and stuff like that, they'll have, like, Scuba Lance Spider-Man, and, like, that never happens in the movie. Or sometimes they'll have stuff in the toys that actually might have been in the movie at one point. Like, I think there was a couple things in Infinity War that people kind of connected the dots might have been based off of, like, original concepts and stuff. So, like, even if these suits or the Dobutsu versions don't make it into the show officially, I think it would be cool if we got their toys. Like, I wouldn't be mad if we never got the Dobutsu suits with the different visors, but we got a special wave of the figures with them. Like, I don't think that's unheard of, and I think that would be kind of cool because it would be a neat way for them to extend the line for something that's not in the show, but it's something that's also real for Go Busters. I mean, going with that too, they don't even have to use the Go Busters stuff. If they want to make original stuff, kind of like the Spirit Rangers or stuff, that would be cool too. Even if it's not in the show, I'm kind of a sucker for stuff like that. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. I think it would be cool if we did see this happen in some capacity, whether we use these suits or not, or who knows, it could be both. We could have Ben and Betty suiting up as completely different Rangers, and we could get these Dobutsu suits. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll keep you posted on any other fun little news and theory tidbits. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for all my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.